All right, week one of the NFL season is in the books. It was a wild weekend. Lots of highs, lots of lows, some surprises, some devastating injuries. But we are back again with another season of Pete's Power Rankings. I watch 99% of all these games each weekend. I rank all 32 teams from top to bottom. This is a power rankings list, not the standings. I'm sure I'm going to hear it from everybody in the comments below, but let's kick this thing off with our bottom tier teams. A lot of disappointing teams this week. All right, we have our bottom tier teams. Carolina Panthers, you come in as the first bottom team of the season. I just didn't like what I saw from Carolina whatsoever. I don't know how this offense is going to score points. The Bears, a hugely disappointing performance. Justin Fields, no steps forward with DJ Moore. They were awful offensively. They were awful defensively. Bad team. Cardinals, good, decent defensive performance. Just the offense is the offense. They're terrible. Houston, Tennessee, Washington. I know Washington won, but just like I saw nothing from these teams. Now, I liked a little bit what I saw from the Colts in moments. They had flashes. Anthony Richardson, not abysmal, not whatsoever. Did a good job. Just, again, another loser, another non-cover. Pittsburgh, the biggest disappointment this season. I had very high hopes for the Steelers. Thought they could have won that game, and they got drubbed. They got a lot of work to do. Same thing with the Giants. The game kind of snowballed from them, but I was worried about the Giants. Thought the Giants would be competing for the playoff spot. Man, very concerning performance. They couldn't block. And I've heard all this hype about how the offensive line is a strong part of this team. Defense wasn't good. It wasn't abysmal, but it wasn't good. And then the Saints, you won a game, but you played against Tennessee. I think Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, might be the worst quarterback in the league. Congratulations. Your defense looked good against a bad offense, but your offense, nothing. I saw nothing from Derek Carr in this offense. Maybe Tennessee's defense is okay, but still, just a lot of meh. You'll beat bad teams in New Orleans, but I just saw no juice from this team. I wouldn't be scared for this team if you have any sort of offense. Okay, your middle tier teams, 22 through 16. There was a lot of teams in here I really didn't know what to do with, like Seattle, Denver, Las Vegas. Like, Denver looked okay. I mean, they didn't look bad. They shouldn't have punted down with 5 minutes left, but they did. They never got the ball back. Vegas, not as bad as I thought they would be. This is kind of a bump for them. Jimmy G looked okay. Seattle, just abysmal at home in the second half. You lose Charles Cross now. Gino, are you writing back? I mean, come on, man. You got to be better. Atlanta, you beat a bad team, but Desmond Ridder, I feel nothing for him. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. He seems to be the worst player on this team. It's a very good roster with a bad quarterback like a couple other teams out there. Tampa Bay, good performance, good defense, good receivers. Baker was okay. They got completely dominated by the Vikings in all facets of the game. They won the turnover margin by 3, Tampa did, and they won the game by 3 points. That's not a great sign in the NFL. You're supposed to dominate a game. You win that much in the turnover battle. In Minnesota, you dominated the game. 3 turnovers, jumping off sides on a 4th down to take a field goal off the board and lead it to a touchdown for Tampa Bay. Just way too many turnovers in scoring position and a turnover in Tampa's scoring position. They just got to clean things up, and they got a tough road ahead. They got to go to Philly on a short week. This Vikings team could be falling off. New England, this is a bump for them. They really show. I was impressed with the Patriots. Their defense really looked sharp against the Eagles. They pushed them around a little bit. They took away what the Eagles like to do. Patriots offense looked a little more competent. Thank you, Bill O'Brien. Thank you. I mean, they look like they had meaning with their play calling. Like, they set stuff up. They tried to develop things that could work later in the games. So I got New England here at 16 for a good performance in a loss. Just short, but let's get into what you came here for, the top 15 teams in the NFL. Okay, at number 15, I got your New York Jets. This is some of the highest roller coaster games ever. Aaron Rodgers goes down 4 plays into his New York Jet career. The storyline everybody's been following with Hard Knocks, with everything. He tears his Achilles. He is done for the season. They just need the MRI to confirm it, but all the reports are Rodgers is done for the season. But they get the top 15 spot because the tenacity that this team showed on defense as a coaching staff all seemed lost for them in the first half. They regrouped at halftime. They turned up the pressure, turned Josh Allen over 4 times tonight. He continues to be a turnover machine. This defense was lights out. Garrett Wilson with maybe the catch of the year already. Fantastic catch. The offense is abysmal with Zach Wilson, and Nathaniel Hackett's play calling leaves a lot to be desired. It's just so heartbreaking because this feels like a Super Bowl team. They were so good. They gashed Buffalo, even though the Bills knew they had no passing game. It's just a shame we got robbed of what looked like was going to be a top 5 team in this league. But the Jets are here at 15. They pick up the W at home. Tall task to go beat Dallas in Dallas next weekend, but maybe Tom Brady comes out of retirement for them. Okay, number 14, I got the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, I think everybody, including myself, wrote this Rams teams off, especially when Cooper Kupp head into the IR to start the season. It was like, what is this team going to do? How are they going to do anything? In comes Puka Nuka. Here in comes Tutu Atwell. Nobody knows who anybody these guys are. I mean, geez, just nobody receivers, late guy picks. I don't think anybody even had them in fantasy, maybe in those deep leagues, but they both go off for 100 plus yards and 10 catches. Just a dominating performance from LA in the second half. And Seattle, what the hell happened to them? They got pushed around by this Rams defense because they reestablished themselves that they are a top physical force. Matt Stafford was very efficient. The running game still just leaves so much more to be desired, but this scheme, it's not a good running scheme, but they punch it into the end zone when they need to. And Sean McVay showed he is not washed yet. A masterful coaching performance from Sean McVay in the second half. And I was really surprised by this Rams team, and maybe they are going to be a competitive team in the NFC West. Okay, number 13 is the Buffalo Bills. What a horrendous performance tonight on Monday night. You knock Aaron Rodgers out of the game for the entire season to start this bad boy off, and they are just completely flat the rest of the way. They take a 13-3 lead. They're controlling most of the game. The Jets can't do anything on offense, and Josh Allen continues to make bonehead play after bonehead play. I'm not going to put up with the Josh Allen nonsense anymore. You got to take care of the football, sir. You can't be a reckless guy throwing it out there. You're going to lose your team games. You lost your team the game again tonight. Just 2 awful interceptions into deep double coverage, just trying to hit a home run play when you could tuck it and run for first downs. A bad fumble on a snap. You're diving, getting hit over the middle when you need to be getting out of bounds and sliding. Josh Allen just has the worst decision making in the NFL. I don't want any more of this Josh Allen hype. Oh, he's a great quarterback. No, he's a talented quarterback. He is not a winning quarterback in this league. You can't turn the football over like that, son. I don't care how good the Jets defense is. These were nonsense interceptions. It was a bad fumble, just poor decision making all around. But the Bills defense was okay, but they folded late. They let up a touchdown drive. Then they gave up the punt return on special teams. It was just a whole cavalcade of disaster for this Bills team. But hey, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs' relationship seems to be pretty good. Diggs had a huge day against Sauce Gardner for half the time. But losses are losses, and Diggs is going to want his ass on a new football team. Okay, number 12. I got the Chargers here at 12. And honestly, it's just the same damn Chargers, isn't it? I know people want to give me shit. Brandon Staley is a horrendous football coach. He's a defensive guy. His defense is the worst part of this team. It's killing this team. Justin Herbert, Kellen Moore, and the offense hung a 34-point performance out there. They were perfect in the red zone, only kicking 1 field goal in their 5 red zone possessions, 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal. That's about as perfect can get. I loved what I saw from them offensively. Herbert was great. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler running all over the place. Kelly, the backup running back, had a huge day. And this defense let Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill just eviscerate them. They should have fired Brandon Staley last year. This team might actually have gotten over the hump. Now they're going to be the same old damn Chargers, an elite offense that's let down by a shit defense and really questionable coaching decisions. I'm so frustrated with this team because I think this is a team that should be in the top 5 and not sitting here at number 12. Okay, Cincinnati at 11. I'm not going to panic. I picked the Browns to beat the Bengals this weekend. It was a very easy pick. The Bengals are owned by the Browns in the Joe Burrow era. They just mismatch is galore. It was in Cleveland and it was a bad weather game. Joe Burrow's missed most of training camp, hasn't practiced with that calf injury, and the defense of Cleveland feasted on that. They were out of sync, out of touch, and that was the theme for the NFL this week. Everybody misses the preseason. All the quarterbacks really looked rough out there. Offenses were not in sync. It was a defensive weekend for everybody. So I'm not going to overreact here, but I would have liked to see a lot more. Now, you could chalk it up. The weather was bad. Nobody could throw in this game. Your kicker, who's usually spot on, misses a field goal to make it a 4-point game late, and then things kind of spiraled out of control. So I'm not going to overreact, but I am going to pump the brakes a little bit. Bengals always get out to a slow start. I expect them to get back into the top 5 here towards the end of the season, but don't panic yet, Cincinnati, but it's a little alarming how bad the result was. Okay, number 10, I got the Green Bay Packers. Maybe the Packers are better than we thought they were going to be. Now, I don't think anything of the Chicago Bears, but Jordan Love was very efficient. I liked what I saw from him. Christian Watson goes down, and Love plays well. He knew where to get rid of the football to. He met through his progressions, and he didn't really panic out there. The running game was okay. It wasn't great. Aaron Jones left the game kind of early. They relied on A.J. Dillon, and the defense locked the Bears' offense, shut down Justin Fields, shut down DJ Moore, and there was nothing left to him. Now, again, the Bears' defense is pretty awful, so let's maybe pump the brakes here, but I'll start the Packers off at number 10 because I think they really took advantage of the team they were playing against, and that's all I can ask for. You got to dominate a bad team. They dominated a bad team in the division on the road in the first start for Jordan Love. So I like the Packers here at 10. I'll be interesting to see what they do facing stiffer competition. I think they got the Falcons upcoming this week. That's an interesting game. Two teams are going to run the football a lot, so I'd like to see how they perform against the Falcons. Another big win against a team that I think is solid in that middle tier of teams, I think could really have the Packers stock skyrocketing. Okay, number 9, I got your Detroit Lions. Now, I'm not going to overhype this win on Thursday night. Kansas City was not Kansas City. No Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce, and the Lions really didn't dominate this game whatsoever. This prolific offense that we're all hearing about really didn't do anything against this Chiefs defense, who was missing their best player and is not really a good defense other than that. Now, we saw great flashes from Jahmyr Gibbs. I would have liked to see him get the ball more. Yeah, Jared Goff doesn't throw interceptions, but he doesn't push the ball downfield. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a good game, but he could have had a great game. It felt like he was getting open whenever he wanted to, but the Lions just didn't push the ball. They would hand the ball to Montgomery, not do much on the ground, and then be forced to punt. They would be in third and medium, and that's just not where they excel. Goff excels in third and short, passes over the middle. When teams think you're going to run, you hit them on the play action. That's Goff's bread and butter. But this defense was very good. Now, the Chiefs wide receivers dropped themselves into a loss. Kadarius Toney catches that ball in the fourth quarter at the end of the game. The Chiefs win this game. So I'm not going to overhype this Lions win, but they showed that they can win these type of games. When a better team is injured, you outman them, you have to win those games. And they won that game on the road. So good for the Lions. I got them here at 9. I just want to see a lot more from the offense. Good start for the defense, but where's this offense I was hearing all about that was going to score 35 points a game? I just didn't see it against a bad Chiefs defense. Okay, number 8, your Cleveland Browns. Yes, Browns fans, great performance on Sunday against division rival Cincinnati. I talked about it a little bit, but man, Cleveland's defense was the most dominating force maybe this weekend. Them are the Cowboys, Niners possibly, but this defense just destroyed Cincinnati's offense. They couldn't move the ball at all. They couldn't run. They couldn't pass. They couldn't block. Myles Garrett was a man amongst men out there, just dominating the front four for them. Just, oh man, Myles Garrett just popped off the screen. Everybody seemed to have a good day on that defensive line. The secondary was awesome at shutting down these receivers. T. Higgins with a goose egg. Now, the on the flip side, the offense wasn't very good. There were a lot of wide open guys, and Deshaun Watson could not hit wide open passes. Kind of looked like that middle tier quarterback that I got a lot of shit saying he would look like. He wasn't quite as bad as last year. He was a little bit better, but he was nowhere near one of those top guys. Now, could it be the weather? Possibly it was rainy and Burrow couldn't really throw either, but it just really wasn't good for Cleveland. Cleveland should have blown this bad boy out in the first half. They really kind of let Cincinnati hang around. They took care of business in the second half. I would still be concerned about this Browns offense. They got to run the football more effectively. Watson has to hit open receivers. But this defense, man, easily in the top 10, maybe even in the top 5. They're a real unit. They just got to stay healthy because defense does win championships, but you kind of need offense and a quarterback to get you there. Okay, number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore. Another team. Where was this high-powered offense I was promised I was going to see? We changed the offense. Lamar's the man, and it was the same shit. It was everything's on Lamar on the ground. They couldn't pass the ball. Again, another bad weather game. It was rainy, it was wet, it was slippery. It just wasn't good for them. They played an inferior opponent, and they let them hang around for 3 quarters. They put it away in the second half, but it never really felt put away. I would have much rather preferred seeing Baltimore hang a 30 spot and only give up 6. Defense was good against a bad and young quarterback. Offensively, I don't expect the Texans to do much early in the season. But man, I'm just so disappointed in this offense. But they did what they were supposed to do. I'll wait for a good weather game to see what this offense is potentially up to. But J.K. Dobbins, out for the season, a torn Achilles, a huge blow, a guy who's never been healthy. You turn on the tape of him in college and he was electric. He has flashes in the NFL. It's just a guy who's never been healthy and his NFL career has never taken off. Okay, it's 6. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, the Jags. I know they kind of struggled most of the game with Indianapolis at Indy. It is a division opponent. It is a brand new offense, and Shane Steichen, credit to him, had them on their toes, and the defense was shutting them down after a freak fumbled touchdown that the Colts score. Some you'd see in Little League. I mean, it's a fumble. The Jags player picks it up, is holding it, thinking it's an incomplete pass, and the Colts player literally takes it out of his hands and runs it in for a touchdown. Just a freak play. The Jags woke up after that and shut this team down and threw up a big point number, covered the spread, which is what great teams do. And honestly, Calvin Ridley, welcome back, you degenerate gambler. Huge day, 100 yards and a tutty. Add that, Zay Jones, another touchdown. This was a good all-around performance from the Jaguars. ETN had a big touchdown run. Took them a little bit to get their feet under them. Like I said, that was the theme from this weekend. No preseason. Everybody struggled on offense. They got their feet going. I think this is a very good Jags team. I picked them to win the AFC South. I picked them to be the number 1 seed coming out. I would like to see better from them, but good start to the season for Jacksonville. Okay, here at number 5, I got the Miami Dolphins. Now, I really flirted with putting the Dolphins a little bit higher on this list, but the defense did get carved up for 34 points. But man, this offense under Mike McDaniel is incredible. Tua's healthy. They just light it up. 466 yards passing for Tua. Tyreek Hill, 215 and 2 tutties. You pair him with Jalen Waddle. This is a deadly combination. I mean, anytime the Dolphins needed to play, you looked up and Tyreek Hill was running wide open in the middle of the field. Now, that could be the shitty Chargers defense, but Tua found him, Tua hit him, and they made them pay out the nose. And when it came down to it, Tyreek Hill was covered, and he threw a dot pass and made it a great catch to give them the lead. And then the defense hadn't done anything all day, no sacks on the day, turns up the pressure. They get 2 sacks. They get an intentional grounding. They really just don't let the Chargers offense do anything after they miss the extra point on the touchdown to keep it a 2-point game. They shut the door on the Chargers. I was very impressed by this Dolphins team. It's a team that you're just hanging by a thread. If Tua doesn't get a concussion, he doesn't get hit, this could be a top 5 team. This could be a Super Bowl type team. I need to see more from Vic Fangio's defense, but maybe it takes a couple weeks to get their legs under them. They played a great offense on the road, kind of on the road, but I was very impressed with the Dolphins as a whole. Overall, watch out AFC. Okay, number four, I still have the Kansas City Chiefs here at number four. I'm not going to overreact to the loss week one. You don't have Travis Kelce. You don't have Chris Jones. Chris Jones was signed again today. They brought him back in on the 1-year deal. Travis Kelce's going to be back. Now they're at Jacksonville next week. That's a huge game for the Chiefs. You got to show out. You can't start 0-2. I mean, you're really behind the eight ball starting 0-2. But if anybody can overcome that, it is this team in Kansas City. I was really disappointed with the receivers. The receivers catch the football. I mean, you should be embarrassed. Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, everybody basically but Marquez Valdes-Scantling dropped the ball. It was bad. Now, the running game was okay. I loved what I saw out of Pacheco. More Pacheco, more Pacheco, more Pacheco, please. But the defense really held their own against this Detroit Lions offense. Like I said, everyone was hyping up as an elite offense. They held their own. They gave up only 21 points. And really not even. One of it was a pick six. So they gave up 14 points. They gave up that fake punt early in the game that really kind of hurt them on that drive. But overall, I'm not panicking if I'm a Chiefs fan. It was just kind of one of those, Detroit has to win this game. We're super undermanned. And now we're going to get back to the grindstone. Go beat Jacksonville, a good team in Jacksonville, and they'll prove my point. Okay, so all this talk about how the AFC is so much better than the NFC, but the NFC's top three really showed out this weekend. I was very impressed with all three teams. I'm going to put the Cowboys here at number three, and this might be my most controversial pick. 40-0, this, that, dominant. Look, this is exactly what I said the Cowboys would be. A ferocious, dominating defense, like top defense in the NFL. Micah Parsons, probably one of the two best pass rushers in the league. Not really even a pass rush, just a Swiss Army knife. They plug and play him anywhere, and he just gets after the quarterback and makes plays, makes life a living hell from everybody. Now, like I said, the thing kind of snowballed on the Giants. Every bounce went the Cowboys' way. The defense was suffocating. They turned them over. They scored touchdowns. They had 2 touchdowns, this defensive special teams unit. Just a dominating performance. But the Cowboys offense left a lot to be desired. I thought they could have done a whole lot more. Tony Pollard had a solid game. It was good to see him coming off of that injury in the playoffs, back, looking strong. The run blocking was good. But Dak wasn't sharp at all. Watch the game. Was not good. Had a lot of open receivers. Couldn't get the ball to them. Had a couple of drops on top of it. I just think this passing game was really not good. Now, it was another wet and ugly kind of game, and that could be the excuse for everything. So I'm going to hold the Cowboys here at number 3. This was a great performance from the defense. I expect it. I just don't know how good the Giants are going to be. Honestly, it was very concerning for them. But the offense, I need to see more from Dak in this offense. Nothing surprises me when the Cowboys defense does anything. They're going to have a really tough test against that Jets defense this upcoming week. But the Cowboys defense will win the game again probably because that Jets offense is doing nothing against this unit. So Cowboys here at number 3. Don't freak out, Dallas fans. I just need to see more from Dak, and I'm sure you want to see more too. Okay, number 2, I got your defending NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, Philly jumped out to a 16-0 lead off of a couple turnovers, and they really just kind of malaised their way through the game in New England. Another bad weather game, but Bill Belichick had a game plan. He takes away what you're going to do, and he makes you do something to make you uncomfortable, and Philly was kind of uncomfortable the entirety of that second half. Like I said, I think New England might be better than we think. That's a very strong defensive unit. I still think Philly looked good enough. They made plays when they had to make plays to win this football game. They kind of kept New England a little too close for my comfort, but they did the same thing last year, week 1 against the Lions. They jumped out to a big lead on the road, let the other team come back, and then had to seal the deal, and that's exactly what this team did. Now they got a short week coming up. They got Minnesota coming into town, who just lost a bad game, so they're probably going to get a top-tier game from Minnesota, but they drubbed that team last year, so another 2-0 start for Philadelphia is looking likely. I just want to see them be a little bit sharper, but I still think it's just like maybe the Super Bowl hangover. I still think this is probably the second best team in the league. The problem is they're the second best team in the conference because boy, oh boy, did somebody show out on Sunday. All right, your first number one team of the year, and it's your San Francisco 49ers. What can you say about this 49ers team? What a great performance. You're on the road in a tough place. Home field advantage is not as much as it used to be, but Pittsburgh still has a home field advantage edge, and they just drubbed the Steelers, who are not a bad defense, and really, I didn't think they were going to be a bad offense either, but they dominated from start to finish. When you have the three-headed monster of McCaffrey, Kittle, and Debo, teams just can't stop it. I mean, Brandon Ayuk had a huge day because everybody was so worried about the other three that Ayuk is carving people up. And Brock Purdy, they're talking about he's on a pitch count. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery. Looked as sharp as could be, made great reads, hitting guys were open. The team ran the ball really well with McCaffrey. I was just so impressed. And then obviously the defensive doom, Nick Bosa holding out. He gets a contract. He comes back, immediately is making plays. Once again, this team is stacked as can be, and they've always started off slow. They talked about how they start off slow, and they lost a lot of games last year that forced them to go to Philly instead of playing the game in San Francisco. This looks like a team on a mission. This looks like a team that says enough is enough. We are finally gonna get that Lombardi trophy that we have been so close to under Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is borderline obsessive about winning this thing. I mean, that's all he thinks, and he's dreaming about this thing. That's all he does. It's getting a little crazy, they said, but man, his team showed out this weekend. I'm a lover of the 49ers. I thought they would be good. I was a little worried about Brock Purdy, and they eased all my concerns about that. So this team is an offensive juggernaut, a defensive juggernaut, and they're playing really good ball right now and really angry. All right, that's going to do us for the power rankings, first power rankings of the year. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who are you high on? Who are you low on? Where did I mess up? Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's a lot of fun. The NFL season is back. We'll be back again every Tuesday morning with your power rankings throughout the season. It should be a lot of fun. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you all what your thoughts are on this. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. If you want to support the channel more, click that join button or hit the link in the description and sign up for a channel membership. You get a lot of cool emojis and badges and stuff when you can use in our live streams during Monday Night Football games or any live streams. You get cool member shout outs, member only live streams. It helps support me, allowing me to make more of this great sports content for y'all. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.